Hello and welcome. Today we're going to talk about how you can maintain your focus in your business. And again, I get asked this a lot too. I'm sure you've seen this in my other videos. I say the same thing when I first start out, but this is certainly a popular question as well. And there are a couple of really salient points I want to cover. The first key to focus in your business or in your life is to identify what you're going to focus on. Now, it sounds almost simplistic, but it's really a very key distinction that most people, it's so simplistic that most people miss it. And so really to choose what you're going to focus on is the first step. And most people have not chosen what they're going to focus on. So guess what? They do everything, which ends up being nothing. If you spread all your energy doing everything or many things, you're liable to get none or nothing done. In fact, in our studies with our clients, what we found is if people come to us with a fairly large to-do list, over a certain magical number 4, they typically get none of them done. Now, of course, there are exceptions to the rule, but for the most part, on average, they get none of them done. But if they come with 4 or less, they typically get about 50 to 75% of those items done by about 2 p.m. in the afternoon, if they start about 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. in the morning. Now, that behooves us to really look at what is it that you're going to focus on. If you determine what you're going to focus on, then you've got a good chance that you're going to have the resources in your mind, in your brain, to actually fulfill in those. So from a brain science perspective, there were 2 scientists, Yerkes and Dowds, back in the early part of the 20th century, 1900s, thereabouts, who came up with a very simple relationship that they discovered from experimentation, relationship between the number of tasks or projects that someone takes on and their performance. And what they found was, initially, well, the graph kind of looked like this, if you can capture this on the camera. Initially, as you increase the number of tasks, your performance goes up, which is fairly understandable. If you increase challenge, you tend to get more challenge and your performance goes up. You tend to bring yourself up more. From a brain science perspective, there's actual medical term for it, but actually bringing yourself up so you can perform more. But beyond a certain number of tasks, and guess what, that number is about 4 to 7 based on what we're seeing, but it's typically around 4, I think it's be a safe bet. The performance or your reliability or your accuracy of how you perform goes down considerably. So you may want to entertain the possibility quite seriously, perhaps for yourself, to focus just on 4 or less. In fact, the less you focus on, the better. Now, when I say focus on, I don't mean that you're only going to do 4 items a day. You may do more. In fact, if you just identify the top 4, you're more likely to get more done. How would you like that to happen? Yeah, it's quite true. If you start off with the prioritization of the top 4 items and try to get those done earlier in the morning or earlier in the day, you're more likely to produce more results and more focus. And you can tell by how excited I am. I mean, I do this myself and it really works. It really does. What happens in the brain is when you have fulfilled expectations after you've done or handled the top 4 priorities and you start seeing results coming back, this beautiful chemical in your brain called dopamine gets secreted more. And dopamine is responsible for many things. It's a neurotransmitter and neurohormone, I believe. But it also is responsible for your experience or feelings of confidence and motivation, right? Probably a lot of dopamine going off for me right now as I'm talking. But when you have that, it creates what we call an upward spiral, which is what we like and love to create for our clients. We love seeing the look on their face when they start seeing results coming in from just some real minor leveraging points. And this is certainly one of those. So really, in summary, you want to reduce the number of outcomes and determine what those outcomes are that are going to give you most bang for your time and money. Determine that probably the night before, and then when you wake up in the morning, you get going and you schedule out and block out the times that you're going to focus on those top 4 priorities or less. And I'd love to hear from you, those folks out there, if you're trying that out, what you're experiencing, but it certainly does work. I hope this has been a valuable information for you, and we look forward to sharing more videos and events and other opportunities to interact in the future.